Welcome to my morning report on Friday the 3rd of July with me, Rich Perry, market analyst at Handset Markets. European trading sessions fairly muted at the open. We've got this Greek referendum ahead of us on Sunday, which to be honest is going to create probably a load of volatility and will also result in me having to rewrite all my morning stuff on Monday, all my strategy stuff, but hey ho, such is life. But yeah, so basically the markets are pretty much steady ahead of that. We had the Non-farm Payrolls report that came out yesterday, turned dollar on its head actually. You had a pretty disappointing report all round, slight miss on the expectations of the headline number, but the big takeaway was the participation rate falling and also those average hourly earnings dropping away as well. So the all in all, the dollar suffered a little bit and it remains under a little bit of pressure today. Euro slightly higher, actually, strangely enough, ahead of this Greek referendum. But what we have seen, if I show you, is Bund yields just slightly lower, Spanish yields slightly steady, and actually the result of that is for this, I'll drag in something here, which is the spread between Spanish and German Bund yields, and it's fairly flat, fairly stable actually. This is the hourly chart of that actually. In the last few days, fairly flat and stable. Interestingly enough, the dollar has started to pull lower again. This is that dollar index started to pull lower as that euro has started to sort of find a bit of support again. Interestingly enough, that continues to come around that key pivot level that I'll talk about in my euro analysis in a bit. Now, what we've got ahead of us today, not a great deal actually. We've got this services PMIs across the board. You had a slight miss on the Chinese data, which actually has impacted across the Aussie today, which is interesting. But looking ahead, we've got the UK data. UK services PMI is forecast to come in at 57.4, which is slightly higher than last month, but last month was a very disappointing dip actually, considering the climbs that we'd seen in previous months. So needs to get back on track. Certainly there was a bit of a disappointing number last month, and we need to see that improving. And if that does happen, 57.4, you could see sterling finding a bit of support as well. Now, that takes me to my chart of the day, which is the euro yen. Now, interesting, because I said that euro yen is starting to, the euro is starting to find a bit of support against the Aussie. Now, against the dollar. Now, that is also showing through on euro yen, where you've had this. I'll just have this zoom out basically, because we've seen this retreat into this pivot level. You've had this sharp, massive volatility day on last Monday, which obviously was just a massive. Sort of messed up the chart significantly, but since then it's started to settle down. It looks like this old support band 35.25 up towards 37 sort of area is where that support is building. Now, zooming in, you can see that this there's been a downtrend intact over the last couple of weeks, and we're now sort of pushing out and starting to break that downtrend. So it looks like that support band is holding. You've seen these momentum indicators, RSI coming back to 40, bouncing, MACD lines coming back towards neutral. Stochastics also fairly neutral as well. So it looks like the selling pressure is abating on this euro yen chart today. Now, looking at the hourly chart, you can see that downtrend. If I zoom out, get rid of that and zoom out, you can see that downtrend. It's been fairly decent actually, pretty decently intact over the last few weeks, and we're seeing a rally today. And what I said in the morning report is I want to see the RSI pushing strongly above 60 and holding. Now we've just pushed above 60, which is sort of back towards the levels it sort of moved at to a few days ago. Now if it starts to hold above 60, you could well see this downtrend breaking and this sort of consolidation band being tested. Now that rally high on that consolidation band is 37.50. That is obviously a resistance that needs to be broken on the upside to really sort of suggest that the this consolidation is sort of turning into a rally. And also what that would be is back above that sort of 30, well, it's 36.95 on this chart, because that was the sort of resistance high in May, in that mid-May reaction high. But obviously that is an old key resistance that is still sort of has a part to play. So breaking back above that would be a fairly psychological move, and also suggestive that the bulls are starting to regain momentum in this move. So I still think this is a correction that will be bought into. I still think the yen has further weakness in this chart, and and I think that we could well see a rally back towards that 138 level, which is sort of like a pivot level. That old support becomes new resistance, so that could well see be tested. So if you see a move back above 137, you could well see a move towards 138 on this euro yen chart. So at 138 is a resistance that comes in from that rally high. Also 29th of June being not only that and the support, if you zoom out on this hourly chart, support, or that old support of that range. So that is a big level that needs to be negotiated, but we could well see now the breaking of this range. If you see a move above 137, you could well see a move back towards 138. Watch out for that that hourly RSI, perhaps even moving towards 70. If that was to be the case, then I would be far more confident of this being a sustainable rally. So lots going on Euro Yen today. Looks like it's picking up, and I wish you good luck in your trading, and I'll speak to you later.